Hey everybody, Clint Hall with Alternative Athletics here, and we are working our way through the 5 most important factors of fitness or wellness. The reason that we got on this track was because we're running a fitness challenge through the holidays, starting in the middle of November and running all the way through the end of January. And what we're doing is we're picking 1 or 2 things that you want to work on. The person who is most consistent and able to work on that thing the most times throughout that time period wins the competition. But it got me thinking about all the things that we need to work on to live well, be strong. All right. Today we're going to talk about mobility. And for most of our clientele, if you're coming to Alternative Athletics, you're already working out. And it's a great place to start for most people. It gets the ball rolling. You see changes quicker. But once you have that under your belt, mobility becomes a lot more important. So plenty of people work out, but not a lot of people work on warming up and then cooling down and stretching afterwards. And as we work out, we start to develop problem areas. I can't throw that baseball. When I threw it to my kids, something was weird in my shoulder. I was shoveling the snow and something felt weird in my bicep tendon. Or maybe you're doing a squat or you went on a hike and your hip flexor's locked up and you're like, wow, I got this impingement in my hip. I'm not sure what's going on. And all of that are problem areas that you might work on, or some people try to work through and then the condition gets worse. But if you're working on them and then you quit working on them, they tend to come back. So I like to think of it, especially as we age, we've taken our whole life and we've done certain things and then we've created problem areas that we need to continue to work on. And I like to think of it similar to happy pills, right? So I have plenty of buddies who you have issues, you find a medication that works for you, you feel great, and then you're, oh, my life is good, everything's great, I don't need to take these things anymore. You quit taking your medication, and then all of a sudden you're in a huge depression because you felt great. So the same thing can happen with working out. You fix the problem area, whether it's massage, foam rolling, stretching, whatever. You get it to where you don't hurt anymore, then you quit working on that thing, and then it comes back. So if you have a problem area, continue to work on that problem area, even after it's gone away. All right. The second thing I want to talk about is as you're working on the problem area, I want you to look upstream or look downstream. All right, a lot of times, whatever the issue we have, especially what I see with like low back pain and sciatica, is the problem is not at the area of pain. The area of pain is the weakest link in the chain. So something that is stronger, whether it's your glutes, your hamstrings, a lot of times with neck issues, it might be traps. And think of the trap as all 3 areas of the trap, the top, the middle, the bottom. It might even be your lat pulling on your trap that's then causing neck pain. A lot of times the front of the shoulder can be hurt by something in the back because you're compensating. Obviously a great one is had a member of the gym, they had a foot injury, which then ended up causing a knee injury on the other side just because of the way they were walking because of the foot injury. So when you're looking at a problem area, consider everything in the chain above and below it, not just the area itself. All right, another thing I want to look at is pain does not necessarily equal results, all right? So if you've ever had athletic endeavor and you're stretching afterwards, hopefully your coach said, go until it's tight, but when you're stretching, don't necessarily push through into pain. Find that tension. As the tension releases, you can add more tension, but if you're reaching pain, you're now at the borderline of creating an injury. Another one that a member and I were talking about, and he made a great point, is certain parts of the body. We were talking about the IT band at that time. We think that because we foam roll it and it hurts, that we're creating benefit. And it's very possible that something other than massage or other than foam rolling might be what gets you in a better place, as in stretching. And when we're stretching, we're used to doing like, oh, I'm gonna tug on this, I'm gonna tug on that, I'm good to go. And for most people, a change of tissue is going to require at least 2 minutes of tension. And as we said before, as the tension releases, add more tension, but don't go into pain. Finally, how do we know what's going on? All right, so we have a problem area. We go to the doctor. The doctor says, hey, I'd love to get you in for an MRI, but I got a lot of people with a lot more serious things going on, so the MRI is going to be scheduled out for 3 months. Or you don't want to fork over the $5,000 for the MRI because you can't get the insurance to pay for it because you don't have an acute injury. Test and retest. So I am a big fan of, if you have a problem area, all right, my range of motion is this far. I go to work on that area. When I do whatever I'm doing, using a lacrosse ball to stretch something out, hanging from a barbell to stretch something out, or sorry, a pull-up bar, whatever I'm doing to work on that area, take your 2 minutes, do both sides to maintain symmetry, and then test, retest. Do I now have a greater range of motion? Does it hurt less? Do I feel like I'm in a better spot? All right? There's a lot of things we can do to work on mobility, but once you've got that bone density, once you've got that muscular strength, most of us are going to hurt ourselves when we fall on the ice by tearing a ligament rather than breaking a bone because we already have that density. And if you're in that population where you're like, hey, I work out, I'm a fit person, make sure you have range of motion, make sure you have flexibility, make sure you have it all the time, because you're not necessarily going to slip right after a stretching session. You're not going to fall, for me, on my one wheel or skateboard or snowboard right after I've prepared myself for that accident. All right, guys, live well, be strong.